Hello, and welcome to another episode of Let's Get You Painted. I am your host, Alec, and today we are joined by Ryan from Blightbringers. Ryan, how are you doing today?
Hello, Alec. I am doing good, all things considered. How about yourself?
I am also doing well. I am getting ready for some life things going on, so I'm trying to get a couple of episodes recorded early. So depending on
Hmm.
when this episode comes out, things may have changed in War Machine, but luckily, painting wise, we get to enjoy it. So
Painting,
Ryan, what
painting
are
never
you
changes.
painting never changes. Well, I don't know because, they might change things like objectives. They might change maybe point values on pieces, and then maybe we'll paint something and then you never use it. But luckily, we all
Mm.
paint because we enjoy it.
True.
But Ryan, what are you painting?
Tonight I am painting Razor from the Kador SKS cadre. I
Hmm.
have already done Vilcool and everything else from the box, and he was the last thing that I hadn't painted, so I figured it's about time to get some color on him.
Okay, that is
How about
nice.
you? What are you working
I
on?
am currently working on Warbore. I think it's Warbore 48 for Carver. So he
Hmm.
is the
Hmm.
super heavy from Mark IV,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I actually have two of them. One of them that I have cut up, and I've cut his barrels off, and I am hollowing out the inside. And this is my non-mechanical one.
Okay.
So this is my just kind of fun one to see because I'm gonna probably put a lot more effort into the other one. So this
Hmm.
is just I haven't started painting that one yet. So this is just the let's see how it goes so I can figure out what I want to do with the other one.
Yep. 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 Yep.
Uh, so that's what I'm doing tonight. Just a nice
Fun.
casual painting thing. So
Yeah, I mean, all painting is just a casual painting thing. It's all
well, I
just
mean
relaxing.
that's how I like to paint. I know some people get really stressed about painting, but for one of the things I've talked about for many different episodes and I've talked about for years is that I just want people to get out there and have fun and get painted because I personally prefer seeing painted stuff on the table. And I think everyone, even people who are just observing, I think they like seeing painted stuff. I think the entire um, hobby as a whole, be it 40K, be it War Machine, be it BattleTech. I think the entire, community does better when we have painted models and painted terrain.
Oh,
No matter
100%.
so that's one of the things. So Ryan, what got you into painting? Did you paint
So,
because you needed to or did you paint because you liked it?
so originally, I started painting because I was the only one in my immediate friend group who wasn't. So it was more of a I'm doing this to not look like a fool compared to other people. Uh, Back when I was playing 40K third edition, when I was like 14, and that's what my friend group was doing. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously, that was 20 plus years ago, 22, 24, something like that, some ridiculous amount of time ago. Uh, and since then, I've gone from I'm doing this just to kind of keep up with the curve to really finding my niche in it, and kind of getting to a point of I enjoy doing it. I'm not going to do it for anybody else. I'm going to do it entirely because it's a thing I like and I want to do, and I want my models to look a certain way. And the best way to do that is to just sit down and do it. Um, it also helps that I am very autistic, so my brain can sometimes go in like 40 different directions all at once. And painting is just one of those things that lets it kind of calm down and go, nope, you are in complete control of this tiny piece of plastic in front of you. It is whatever you want it to be. There is nothing to worry about. You're good. Uh, and it's just become kind of like a relaxing little hobby to just do when I'm getting stressed or just really need to focus on something.
That's nice. I always find it nice when I hear people talk about how calming painting can be for them, because there's so many people I know who get stressed about painting. I always like to hear that painting can, be that nice calming outlet for someone.
Hmm.
For me, I definitely enjoy painting. There have definitely been times where I paint with a definite goal because I want to be fully painted for, you know, an Iron Gauntlet or a tournament, or just because I want to be. Like
Right.
I paint for my wife so whenever she plays fully painted, and she doesn't paint at all. So I paint all of her
So
stuff, and
you get to
I paint
be the master artisan of the house.
I do. And here's the thing, I paint her stuff better than I paint my stuff.
Hmm.
100%. I go all out when painting hers. I will put more work into it than I will ever for mine. And that's
Hmm.
okay.
Hmm.
But like she's my wife, and I want her army to look good. And that's
Yeah,
the Grimkin army that I got her. Oh God, talking about time. I got her that Grimkin army in what was it, 2016 when Grimkin came out?
that sounds
Talking
right.
about that's that's
Uh-huh.
10 years ago, man. That's
Yep. It's
oh,
fun to think
buddy.
about that, isn't it?
Well, no, it was like before we started recording, we talked about that I've been playing Menoth for, you know, 20 something years,
Hmm.
because I've been playing since just before Apotheosis.
Okay.
And I was like, "Oh, that was 2005. Oh no,
Mm,
that was
yep.
21 years ago." Oh, I'm old because I was already in my 20s at that point in time.
Yep.
Yep,
It's
that's
better just to not think about it. Just it's
yeah.
only been like 5 years since you started. Just keep telling yourself that. That's what I do.
Oh, buddy, I always laugh because there's one of my really good friends, Joanna. The joke for her and I have been, and this has been since the early 2000s, is
Sure.
that we've been friends for 6 months.
Hmm.
And years ago, this had to have been like 2006. One of our friends, so we were all out to dinner hanging out, and he's like, "You can't have known Alec only 6 years or 6 months." And she's like, "Why?" He's like, "I've known you 3 years, and you knew him before me." And she's like, "Oh, yeah. So, I don't know, 7 months." And he's like, "That does still doesn't make sense."
Math isn't mathing. What are you talking about?
But yeah, that's like the joke when someone's like, "Oh, like 20 years ago." And I was like, "Oh yeah, the 80s." And they're like, "No.
Uh
No,
huh.
like the early 2000s." And I'm like, "Oh no. That's
Uh,
yep,
mhm. Yep.
that's correct."
I like it. Just better not to think about it. It's
Yeah. Oh.
You're just gonna make yourself real sad.
No, I'm not going to be sad, but I just like think I mean, I think about like I have a 12-year-old now, and I'm like, "Holy cow. Wait a second."
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You
I'm
think at a
like,
certain point the hospital would want them back, you know?
"Yeah,
Fuck.
right?" What is the return policy on children, by the way? Like, I make that joke.
Depends who you ask, honestly.
Oh, buddy, I can make that joke right now because my wife's in bed, but she might, and she doesn't always listen to the podcast. Though, if on the next episode they're like, "Alec, are you in trouble?" I'm like, "Yes." She actually listened to this podcast. I am in trouble.
gonna gonna
Uh,
not be able to turn your camera on next time. Oh, what you can't turn the face camera on anymore? No, I walked into a door. That's right, you did. Like,
I
oh,
f- I fell down the stairs. No, wait. What does he say in Fight Club?
oh,
Sometimes Tyler talks for me, and sometimes
yeah.
I talk.
Oh God, it's been so long since I've seen that. I
I
don't
need to
remember. I
rewatch
know what
that
you're talking
movie.
about, but it's been
But
so
yeah,
long.
because he's in the ER, and he talks about like why he has a black eye.
Hmm.
Oh God, I gotta rewatch that movie. That's such a good movie. See again, but that movie's from what, 2001? Think
Yeah.
about that.
I don't wanna. Stop making me think about time. It's
I was in college.
I don't I was 11. I don't need this right now.
It's okay. It's
Why
oh dude,
why why are you
I'll
trying
give
to
you
bring me
some
down, man?
I'll give you
Why
something
are
really
you doing this
funny.
to me?
I found out that some of my son's friends listen to the
Uh,
podcast, and I was like,
that's
oh,
okay.
I was like, that's cool. I gotta make sure I keep it like PG now, like 100%, because definitely like I always click that thing because I was like, oh yeah, there's no kids who want to listen to, old guys chatting about painting and stuff. And then he came in, he's like, oh yeah, I found out all my friends listen to you, and I was like, hold up,
Oh no.
what? And he's like, yeah, they were all talking about how cool it is, and I was like, wait, your 12 and 13-year-old friends? And he's like, yeah, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Yep.
All the children think you're cool. This is
Yeah,
definitely a thing to
that's
aspire to.
yep, that's I was like,
Hmm.
that's where I picked up those 8 subscribers in this past month.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Hey, I'm up to 64, thank you very much. I'm super
Very,
excited about that.
very impressive.
Oh man. The fact that I'm up to 64 in 4 months. I was like, that's not bad.
That's so good.
Yeah,
It sounds like
I'm
I'm
really
sarcastic when I say that, but
no,
I'm trying not to be for once.
no, like I'm actually really like happy about that. I told someone that they're like, "Oh, they're like, and what are your viewers?" I was like, "I get like 20 to 30 views per video." And they're like, "Oh, that's actually like decent numbers." And I was like, "Yeah, like that's I mean some videos are only like, 16 to 20 depending on,
Yeah.
but I was like, that's at least I have my regulars every single video."
So I was watching a thing the other day, and do you know how many views it takes to be in the top 1% of like streamers slash YouTubers?
5 million views per video?
Nope, way too high.
I don't know. Like
11.
what?
If you get 11 viewers consistently, you are in the top 1% of views. Because there is so much content that is uploaded by various people uh, that either never gets seen or never gets seen outside of its like immediate market, that it just never hits that point. So because of how much
Wow.
content is actually put out in various places, if you are getting 11 views consistently, you are in the top 1%.
Well, I feel pretty awesome then.
Right? You're probably in like the top 0.98%, which is even better.
I mean, I'm not tried and true though. They get what, like 1,500 views, but I can aspire to them. I mean,
I
or
mean,
like you guys. You guys have what, like 2,000 views a video?
oh, I barely put out videos. I think the last one had a couple
Well,
hundred, but
or
like,
audio, but yeah.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, couple hundred. I'm happy with that. We joke that it's like, oh, we have 6 listeners, and then I look at the stats after, and it's like, oh, we got like 700 independent downloads in 30 days. That's crazy. Why are you people all so desperate to hear from us? We're nerds. We don't do anything. What is
Well,
happening?
so you know what I do whenever if I'm like at the gym, I listen to podcasts. I
Mhm,
listen to War Machine podcasts.
yeah.
Or when I'm driving in my car, I listen to War Machine podcasts.
Hmm.
And that's what I do. It's either that or I listen to music, or when I'm painting. And if I'm not doing my own content, I listen to other people's War Machine because I like to hear what other people think is going on in the meta. Like, even
Hmm.
though I know what I'm thinking and I talk about what I'm doing, I still like to get that outside perspective to see if, now I don't want to say if I'm right, but to see I'm if people are in a similar vein, or maybe I'm just completely in left field,
Yeah.
or also to
Are
see,
people largely agreeing with you, or are they going, oh, actually, I saw the same thing and thought X, Y, and Z, and you're like, oh, actually, I didn't consider that. Huh? Does that change my opinion?
well, I think I've noticed, and I've noticed this specifically in the Atlanteans podcast, is, and I know people have commented, I'm the glass half full guy. I'm
Sure.
the super positive, and then sometimes like Joe is the neutral, and then Jay can sometimes be not as, which we like. I love Joe and I love
Yeah.
Jay, and they can, but it's just everyone has their different views, and there's definitely been
Yeah.
times where I'm not as positive on things, But yeah, like I've definitely seen people comment. They're like, the number of times they're like, I love this, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm not really sorry.
Yeah,
I'm happy. This is my game. This is what I do.
right. It's like
Like,
I do this for fun and I enjoy it and I think the stuff is dope. And now we're here.
yeah, this is what I do. It's just like painting. Like, there are so many times where people are like, oh, you have to paint perfectly, and I was like, no, I just want to teach people to paint. Thin them out, do a zenithal highlight, dry brush multiple ways. Like, man, I had so many people get positive feedback on when I was teaching people how to dry brush in different colors, like
Mhm.
layering dry brush. This one
Yeah.
here,
Oh, right,
here,
right.
this guy. So I did I did eight, or it was what, five different colors of dry brushing, and then I did the bronze and silver and the different coloring of reds and purples and pinks.
Mhm,
And this
mhm,
is
mhm.
tabletop ready. This
Yeah,
is like this. You
it's
could
that
take this
easy.
to the Iron Gauntlet, and this took me 45 minutes as an
Yeah,
80 millimeter. That
which is
guy's
fantastic.
and he's good. He's
Yeah,
ready for the table. He is like, that is good. And someone's like, man, I could never do that. I'm like, no, watch
yes,
my
you can.
video. You can. You absolutely, like, I think that's my pet peeve when I hear someone say I can't do that. I'm like, you can. That's what I'm trying to show you. I
Yep.
literally showed you the steps. Like, I
It's.
Bob Rossed it.
I was gonna say, there was actually a Bob Ross thing forever ago now, where somebody apparently wrote in and was like, Bob, I'm colorblind. I would
I
really
love
like
that
to paint,
episode.
but yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes,
And was
dude.
like, I can't do this. So he's like, okay, we're gonna do an entire painting and nothing but black and gray. It's gonna be
Yes,
black, white, and gray, and that's it. And he goes through the
yes.
entire thing step by step and shows you that, yeah, you can be colorblind. You can have an issue. It doesn't matter. Here's how you do this. You can still do the thing, and that's all it takes.
I still remember that episode. I love, again, positive. I love that episode. Like Bob Ross, man, he's so amazing.
You want to talk
So
about things to listen to while you're painting? The Joy of
yeah,
Painting. It's on YouTube. It's great.
so good. So good. Man, I don't know if you remember the episode when he talks about loss when his wife passed
Mm-hmm.
away.
Yep.
Oh, like I still feel that in my chest.
Hits deep.
Man, it is. Man, you could tell he loved that woman. Like 100%.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But yeah, point being, anybody can do it, and it's one of those weird, like, everybody's like, oh well, I can't, and I think part of the, I don't want to say problem because I don't think it's a problem, but part of the mindset is that, well, you have to be perfect, and you have to do, all these crazy wet blends, and you have to do, non-metallic metals, and you have to do all these things, and I could never do any of those, and it's like, okay, but you don't have to, and if you're searching for perfection, then you're never going to find progress. The enemy of progress is perfection. So instead of trying to be perfect, just be a little bit better every time you do it. That's it.
Well, yeah,
Just sit down and put paint on a model and get a little bit better every time.
that's why,
Done.
like, so for the channel, the little catchphrase is the enemy of good is perfect.
Hmm.
And that's what I just try to get people to get painting. And that's
Yeah.
like that is the entire gist of the channel. And it's the I've actually gotten positive feedback from people who are like, yeah, it gets me out there and painting. I was like, man, that makes me happy. Like
Yeah.
I just want people to be painting and enjoying it.
Yeah. Don't think of it as a chore. It's not a thing that you're doing because you have to. It's a thing you're doing because you want to do it. And just have fun with it. I
I
it,
mean,
it's
some
that
of us
easy.
do some of us, let's be honest, some of us do paint because we have to, because we want to do steamrollers and iron gauntlets, and I
Sure.
want those people to play in those high level things, and
Hmm.
I would like to teach them how to get their stuff painted to tabletop quality with 3 to 5 colors so they can
Yep.
focus on getting their reps in so they can crush people,
Hmm.
with decently painted armies.
Yeah.
That is
Al-
that's
Also, only 3 to 5 colors. LOL. I don't. I don't remember the last time I limited my palette that much. I'm such a snob when it comes to
Oh,
colors.
well,
It's like,
oh, so that's the thing is like I realize that like when I do stuff and I'm like, oh, let me just blend this really quickly, and I'm like, oh God, well, Sorry, because I forget. Like
Yep,
like if you look at my palette over here, I was I was shifting and blending the colors because it's naturally. That's just what I
yep,
do. But then I'm like, you don't have to do that. I do
right,
that because I do it without thinking. You don't
yep,
have to. You can just like I tell people, I'm like, you could just take it and thin it out and just put it on. Or heck,
yeah,
you don't even have to thin it out. Take it and put it on and just go. Like I do it just because that's who I am. But
yep,
you never have to do that. And that's
right.
what I tell
Oh,
people.
it's so like, is he still back here? I finished one earlier today. Ah, he is. Oh gosh, that it was just like okay. That I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do him. See if I can get the camera to focus. Focus. Focus.
You sound
I
like
don't
my
know if it
grade
focused
school
real well.
teachers.
There we go.
Focus, Alec.
But
Focus.
like, I finished him earlier today just because he'd been sitting there half done for a while, and it was
Hmm.
like, okay, this is fine. And I remember showing it to like my fiance and like being like, oh, I did this, and she's just like, how many different shades of green are on here? And I'm like,
A few.
I don't, I don't know, like 7, 8, 9. And she's like, and at no point did you think I don't need to use that many different colors. I can just do like 2 or 3. And I'm like, yeah, but see, here's the thing. I did think that, and then I thought, fuck that noise. Uh, get the colors you want to get on there.
It
So
is.
like
And that's, yeah,
oh, I
I
was gonna say,
understand.
so like I started painting all my old ombre stuff as it came out last year, and I looked at it and was like, okay, I'm going to do all of this in the way I want to do it. Because for like my Shadow Flame, uh, which was my other army, I did it as a I'm playing in, trying to play in Iron Gauntlets, I'm trying to get like things on my WTC resume. So like a lot of stuff got to a point of like, well, I need to use this for Adepticon or Lock and Load or whatever else. So like it just needs to be painted. But I'll come back and finish it later. And then I never did because there's always more stuff to paint. And it was
Hmm.
always like, well, I could go back and, finish a thing, but like it's going to take me probably 10, 15, 20 hours to finish it to a point where I'm happy with it. And that's, 10, 15, 20 hours I could put into another model that I can then use. So a lot of it is sitting in various states of like, it's technically painted, but it's not where I want it. So when I started doing all my old ombre, I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to actually paint it to the point I'm happy with it, and get it up to a level that I like where it's at. And if that means I can take it to an event, great. If that means it doesn't go to certain events because it can't, I just have to be okay with that. And that has been both the hardest and nicest thing that I've done to myself because I've spent so much time on so many different models in this army that like the Liegeman Wardens. I think a unit of them I spent like a week and a half on of just doing nothing else. So it was probably a good 30, 40 hours of actual paint time for the unit. And it's like they're a 5-man unit that's 5 points that's going to die immediately. They don't need to look crazy. They
Perfect.
don't need to be that good. But once I spent the time on them and was done with them, I'm like, I'm glad that I did this because I know that that's where I want them to be and I'm happy with them. So I'm not tempted to like go back to them at any point. It's like, no, no, this is actually good. This is what I was hoping for. This is what I wanted. And that has just been a game changer for me because now I look at like the entire army and I'm just so happy with it all together. Even when I'm like, I spent so many hours on so many different things in here, and I could have done like so much of this faster. I could have used washes. I could have used speed paints, and I just didn't because it wasn't what I wanted to do, and it wasn't how I wanted it to look. So it was just like I'm not going to do any of that. I'm gonna spend the time on it, and now it's just like I'm so happy that I did. It looks so dope together. I
I'm
don't remember
worried
why I
about
started
my
telling
new
the story.
Menoth. No, I was thinking about like my new Menoth. So my Menoth had been painted for 15 years.
Sure.
I mean, there obviously I've added some stuff over the years.
Hmm.
Like the Archon, that
Yep.
was added what 7 years ago or so, but I mean most of it had been painted for years and years.
Hmm.
And but I thought about like with new Menoth coming out, like am I going to speed paint it so that I am good
Hmm.
to go, or am I going to put the blood, sweat, and tears into it and make
Yep.
it look good? Like I mean,
Yep.
I think about the number of times I have painted Resnick 2,
Yep.
and then I went and kit bashed my own with the
Hmm.
four horses and the war dog and the custom base and all that stuff. And it's like, yeah, I'm probably going to end up having multiple of the same caster because I'm going to paint the first one and
Hmm.
it's going to be the like so I can get it done. And
Yep.
then the next one is going to be to make it a little bit better. And I'm not going to get rid of
Hmm.
the first one,
Yep.
but then by the time I get to the third one, it's gonna
Yep.
have some kit bashing and it's gonna be a lot of work into it.
Yep. And at the end of the day, as long as you're happy with it, that's all that matters.
Yeah. Well, it's like with this guy. Like, do I need to paint a second one? No. I mean, technically, this is the first one. Do I need to
Hmm.
do that? No. But I like the model. It's going to, by just painting it once, I'm going to learn more about the model so that when I
Yep.
come back and I paint it for real, and I say for real, but when I paint it
Yeah. Yeah.
for the one that's going to move and the spinning barrels and all that, I'm going to
And
be
have
like,
all the
oh,
cool stuff.
yeah, I'm going to be like, oh, don't forget about this point because I'm going to be like, oh, I missed this chain on this point or this
Hmm.
armor piece because I forgot it because you're always going to remember something or miss something. And
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, I want to make sure I don't mess it up when I do it the next time.
Yep.
So, like, that's how I kind of get better. Because I know some people will strip a piece and, like, fix it. Whereas I
Hmm.
find I don't. I'll just buy another one. And I mean, I don't
That's
always
totally
get
up
it
to
right
you.
away. But that's
Hmm.
that's one of those things. Like, I also like that sometimes when I do that, excuse me, I can then I can put the two of them next to each other and be like, oh, look at the difference.
Yep. Here is a direct comparison of how I was painting to how I am currently painting.
Yeah.
Yep.
I also like really enjoy some of this stuff because when I do it in my Iron Kingdoms campaigns for my players, if I
Hmm.
have an extra, like yeah, in War Machine you can't have two of these guys,
Right.
but in Iron Kingdoms you can.
IKRPG is whatever you want it to be.
Yes. I think I just painted over that hook. See, I was painting fur and I accidentally painted that hook that's in his flesh. Well,
Hmm.
I'll make sure that when I do it the next time, well, I'll probably fix it no matter what, but I'll be more careful the next time I do that, that I don't
Hmm.
paint over that hook. Oh man, I have so much stuff planned for so before this surgery happens, I have some friends coming in and we are going to be doing a a campaign and I
Okay.
can't wait. I have some stuff planned for them.
Oh
And
boy.
I actually don't know if they listen to the podcast, so I don't know if I want to talk about it. But I'm an evil DM. I'm a bad man.
I mean,
Like,
somebody's got to do it. May as well
yeah,
be
like
you.
they they joke that I give them PTSD a little bit because like I'll be like, "Oh, you sure you want to do that?" And they're like, "Well, why?" I'm like, "Well, you already said so." And they're like, "I don't want to." I'm like, "Well, you already said it." And they're like, I changed my mind. I was like, "Oh, are you sure you
Okay.
want to change your mind?" And they're like,
Yep.
"No, crap, I don't know." And I'm like, "Make a decision and we'll go from there."
Oh my god. I
Oh
think
my God. Yeah,
I would kill you.
oh dude, I love because I'll also give my players notes or I'll text their phones
Yep.
to like when stuff happens. Like when I was in Germany, I would text them. I'm like, I used to love torturing my players with Grimkin.
Okay.
And I would be like, you hear a bell. And so the
Hmm.
bell is because the Gorehound has a bell around its neck.
Yep.
And when it's hunting you, you hear the bell.
Mm-hmm.
And only you hear the bell if you're not
Yep.
being hunted by it. So it would be hunting a player and they'd be hearing the bell. Like I'd be like, "Oh, here, do a perception check," and they'd hear the bell and they'd be like, "Fuck." And then one of the times the other player used a taunt to
Okay.
try, not because of the Gorehound, but because of other combat.
Sure.
But they had forgot that the Gorehound was still, in the periphery hunting.
Yeah, it was still hunting.
It hadn't even engaged them, but it was still there, and it changed target. So it went from one character to another, and I texted them. I was like, "Hey, you hear the bell?" And they're like, "Wait, what? No, he did." I was like, "Oh, no, no, you do now." And they're just like, "Oh, this
Ah,
is bad."
shit. Yep.
Yeah. And I would do that, or like um one of the characters was a bard
Okay.
and he did bard things. We'll just say that.
Mm-hmm. Very
And
PG.
very PG. We'll just say bard did bard things.
Mm-hmm.
And he had to deal with, we'll just say a tree.
God.
And it, I thought that would fix him. It did not.
Mm-hmm.
So then, um, when he was in a specific type of, we'll say, a house of ill repute,
Mm-hmm.
a trapperkin pulled him
God.
from underneath a bed into a trapperkin hole.
Phrasing?
Well, well, no, into like the den, the trapperkin den.
No, no, just
And yeah,
he's in a
yeah.
house of ill repute and pulled him into
Eh,
a trapperkin hole.
well, here the best part is, so he had none of his gear with him, and he got pulled directly under the bed. And then the lady who was next to him started screaming. So his party
Mm.
barges in and they're like, "Where is he?" And she's like, "This hand came out from underneath the bed and pulled him in." And then they're trying to help and they can't find him. So now they're trying to find him. And oh my goodness, I, I, I fixed him.
Oh
He
God.
decided
Well,
that he was like, I'm not gonna do that anymore. I'm like, "No, you can." He's like, "No, I've decided my guy has taken a vow of celibacy." I'm like, "Oh, are you sure?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay."
you're- it sounds like I had an old DM back in the day, uh, who used to like pass notes to the group while we were sitting there, and one time he passed me a note, and all it said was, "Hey, start a fight with this person, and I'll give you a magic item." And like everybody stared at me and was just like, "What's the note saying?" I'm like, "Can I
Nothing.
tell him?" And he just goes, "Nope." I'm like, "Sorry, I can't tell you. It's
It's a
just for me."
secret.
And they're like, "What the hell?" And I didn't say anything for like 45 minutes, and then picked a fight with that character, like in character, when something
Yep.
happened, and it just spiraled into our barbarian throwing a punch, someone throwing away our healing stone. Uh, oh, that was our other fun magic item. So we had a magic item. It was literally a healing stone. It did 1d4 bludgeoning damage and healed you for 2d6. So you had to get smacked with the stone to
That's
get healed.
awesome.
Yep.
Uh,
So somebody ended up throwing that at somebody and it went missing and it was, oh god, it was a whole thing.
uh,
Very
dude,
funny.
I had a player. So actually, this is how the player became the bard, because his first character, mind you, I say first because he had, I think,
Several.
3 or 4 of that campaign. He had four because he kept dying.
Mm,
His
can't
very
imagine why.
first his very first character was kept failing psychological checks,
Mm-hmm.
because Infernals kept talking to him because he picked up a cursed item, and
Mm,
Infernals kept offering him power, but he kept passing the checks
right.
on resisting them. So finally,
Okay.
and I was like, man, I was like, good job, dude. This is so impressive. So finally, we get like further in, and he stops and he looks at me, and he's like out of character. He's like, my character says, I want the power, I take the deal to in my head to the Infernals. And I was like, what? And he's like, with full consciousness, this is what I say. And I was like, what? He goes, I want this power, I want this, and I will kill any of them, including this player's dog, this player's cat, and I'll shoot this player. And I was just like, everyone at the table was like,
What the shit?
like, wait, what? And they're like, did he fail the check? I was like, no, he passed. And they're like, they look at him and they're like, you're being evil. And he's like, yeah, sorry guys. And so I roll it, and I was like, they accept your deal. You got the power. And so he throws like a fire grenade on the warjack, on the back of the warjack, where the cat is sitting on the shoulder of the warjack,
Oh my
and
god.
immolates the cat for the Morrowind cleric. And she loses it.
Oh, I
and
would.
and prays for righteous vengeance to any god, because Morrow doesn't respond with vengeance.
Yep.
And so I roll in the chart. I'm like, what god's gonna give her vengeance? Menoth. So
Oh,
she changes from Morrow, a Morrowind priest,
to a Menite
to a
and
Menite priest, and picks up fire spells.
oof. Sure,
And
that went
she,
real good for the wannabe infernalist.
oh my goodness, it was amazing. And then like rolling percentile checks, like how much is she gonna get boons from her god, from Menoth? And it
Yeah.
was like 99 percentile, and then like the next row was a 97 percentile. I was like, oh no. I was like, Chris, you're dead. And he's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, Kendra mad.
The
Oh,
righteous fury of Menoth.
oh, dude, it was like, and so she just slaughters his character. But like one of the other guys, Dave, is pissed because his dog gets shot and killed.
Yeah.
And it was just like, holy cow, like it was a good campaign, like it wasn't a lawful good, it was neutral good campaign. And it was
Sure.
just like, holy cow, there was definitely went like off the the rails at that point in time.
Yeah.
And and I was like, that's not even my fault. Like I didn't do that. That
Yeah.
was
This
him.
this was entirely player character driven, which is like sometimes some of the best stuff because it's like, oh, I didn't have to do anything. You guys just played your characters. Neat.
Oh, yeah. I love when that happens. Like, oh man, I have some pre-made characters that I've made for Nova. So it's all level 5 characters, and I've made for this campaign. So one of the characters, and the people can either choose to make it a male or a female character, but the
Sure.
character is an adventurer, and I'm not going to
Hmm.
say what the person's class is, but just their
Yep.
background is they are former Signarian military,
Okay.
and they are divorced with 2
Sure.
children,
Okay.
fighting with their wife or their spouse. I
Sure.
originally had it set as a wife, who
Hmm.
is Signarian royalty,
Mm.
and they are trying to get custody of their children, and they are
Hmm.
adventuring for money to get custody of their kids.
That's a backstory.
That's the backstory.
I'm here for it.
Right? Like I make that types of backstory for like characters, and it's like, will it come up in a 6-hour one shot? Probably not. But
Yeah, probably not super deep.
you hand that to a person, and they're just gonna be like, I'm in. Because
Yeah.
you like someone hears that and they're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not just generic adventurer. It's like, no, no, there's actually a character here that you can truly like role play as and get into that headspace if you want to.
I have another character where she is an adventurer. I have it as a
Hmm.
she, but it obviously could be a she or a he,
Hmm.
where they, again, I'm not going to say their class, but
Hmm.
they are um, nobility,
Okay.
and they don't like being dirty. They don't like being like they if they're not in a 4-star place, they think they're slumming it.
Right.
But they're very skilled. They're very intelligent.
Hmm.
But think like True Beverly Hills, if you remember that movie from years ago.
Yep. Yep.
And so that's the character. So I have like other things with it, but that's one of the characters. But right now I have it as a her, but she is friends with the ex spouse.
Oof.
So I have like 6 characters where people, because there's right now there's 5 slots, and I'm gonna make a
Yeah.
7th character, pre-made character that I'm writing up. But
Hmm.
that way people can either show up with their own level 5 character that fits into Iron Kingdom's Requiem,
Yep.
or they can and it has to be like lawful good, neutral good, or they can choose one of these pre-mades.
Yeah. And then they already
And
fit into the story.
they already fit in. But like I know if I hand these to players, like they're gonna be like, I know if someone takes the recently divorced, single spouse who just wants their kids, and then you have the other person who is like, because I know people. Like I know someone's gonna be like, I want this character because this person picked this one, and it would be
Yep.
fun just to mess with them. Not
Hmm.
even like in an evil way, but just because it would be fun just to have that dynamic.
Yeah.
Um,
It'll be fun to play into the story that you're trying to put down.
yep. And then I have a gobber that nobody knows, but is part of the mob and doesn't want to be.
Sure.
Think something similar to Corky Romano, if you've seen that.
Yep. Okay.
So not the same. I have it written a little bit different. So
But similar enough.
it's yeah, it's when I try to give like a basic abstract, because so many people don't see movies or haven't read books, but I try to give the basic. It's an adventurer who just wants to go adventure, wants to do their class things. I'm gonna try to keep it abstract.
Hmm.
Um, because the when I hand people these characters, I'm gonna be like, hey, what this is this character, and stuff like that. I don't necessarily want people before they show up to the table to know, oh, I heard about this character on this podcast. I wanna be this one just to do it.
Yeah.
But so this Gobber, he just wants to go do his job, but he keeps running into people who know his dad and the mob, and they're like, oh yeah, hey, we know you're in too. And he's like, oh yeah, yeah, totally, yeah, that's what I do. He does that
Hmm.
too. But and then people are like, why are people giving you respect and stuff? You're just a Gobber. And then like the other people in these mobs are like, do you want us to kill this guy? Like he was disrespectful to you. And they're like, he's like, no, 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 no. They 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 that's just what we do. They're not being disrespectful. Don't kill my party members.
Yeah. They're just doing what I told them to do to throw suspicion off.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I have another guy where he has been shocked so many times he's not all there.
Okay.
And so he does better the more he gets electrocuted, but when he hasn't been electrocuted enough, he kind of gets twitchy. So he gets an intelligence bonus the more times he's electrocuted.
Feels like he just needs to start carrying around one of those weather stations and being like,
I mean, maybe we're not gonna say what his class is, but he does better the more he is shocked.
give
But yeah,
that man a
that's
Stormglaive.
give him something. But it's always fun because like some of these characters I have definitely, we'll say, borrowed from player characters that I've had in the past,
Oh yeah. I
that
mean,
people have, and then I've just taken and I've adjusted them to make them
yeah.
better, if like flow better.
I mean, welcome to D&D. At least half the lore is somebody's self-insert fanfic of their favorite book or movie or
Oh yeah.
power system. That's
So
just how that works.
Absolutely. So here, look at how this guy's face is looking. So we got some skin done. I did a different skin for his ears. Got some hair done. Not bad.
Solid, solid.
I mean, I've definitely taken a lot more time on him just because I'm enjoying him.
Yeah. Which
Like
I mean,
he is
again,
he's not going to be
that's
done
the
in
point.
45 minutes, but
No.
it's just fun.
I mean, all I'm doing right now is laying out some of the base colors, uh, and we're gonna go from there. Um,
So
I'm a
I've
little
talked a lot. So Ryan, what was one of your
yeah.
favorite minis to paint
One of my favorite minis to paint.
in War Machine, in 40K, in D&D?
I think my favorite mini to paint, recently at least, was the Lord of the Hunt. Um, it's
Okay.
just a giant wolf rider. It's like the Lord of the Feast if he was also on a dire wolf. That model is just so cool. It has so much like little random detail to it. Um, it was one that I think I spent, and I know like I just say I spent a lot of time on everything, but I think I spent 3 or 4 weeks on him. Like I did all of the little wolves on his base individually. I did like every part of him, and then glued him together, and then went back over it and like made sure everything was lined up. There wasn't any gaps or anything, and it was just it's such a beautiful model, and like for an 80 mil, which is already pretty big, and like is easy to spend a bunch of time on. I was surprised genuinely how much time I ended up spending on them, and I realized after that it was just because I enjoyed doing the model. Like there was just so many different colors and textures, and it was fur and armor, and like the model really felt like it was telling a story by itself. And like sometimes, like you don't always get that. Some models are just, they exist for the tabletop, and like there's not really a lot of like storytelling on them, right? Because they're just like there can't be for like a generic like heavy for say. It's
Oh
just
yeah.
it's a guy. Uh, but like it really felt like there was just something to the model where it was like no, like looking at it and going through and painting it and painting all the skulls and everything else, it was just like no, you can see that this is just like truly like a hunter and it's going after something, and it's like I'm describing this so poorly and I know I
No,
am,
no,
but like
I know what the piece is. I've seen it. I
yeah
watched Jay paint it. It's a beautiful piece.
yeah
I really like
um
some of the old Umbry.
yeah, that's probably my favorite recently. If we're going back in time a little bit, the original Archangel for Legion. Oh my god,
Oh
that model was
yeah.
so beautiful, and I still have it. At some point, I'm gonna strip it and redo it.
Hold on,
I
I
don't
have
know
one. I
when,
have
but like,
so I Alec Jr. used to play um Legion of Everblight,
okay,
and at one point in time he had four of them
that's
because it's
so
me.
many.
It's don't judge
That's
me.
so
Don't judge me.
that's so many.
Okay. Do you want to know the maximum number of judicators I had at one point in time?
7 feels like that would is a number you would have of that
Yeah,
model.
that's surprising that you were able to pull that out. All right, so this is his Archangel. This is the last one he has. But he had so many of these things. So many. But no, dude, I used to have a adjudicator for every um painted differently for every single army. Because remember in Mark II, you would have different tiers.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
would have different I'd have them painted differently depending on what caster was bringing them.
That's insane.
I had a problem, okay? And each one had to have between 1 and 2, so you had to have yeah, it was a thing. It was a thing. So some of them were like bone white, some of them were red, some were black. Like yeah, it was a problem. I only have
Oh, I
three
mean,
of them now. I don't know
really?
why. Yeah, I know. I know. And sometimes I see someone selling one, and I was like, man, I really want to put a steam machine in one still. So when I sometimes I see one sold in parts, I'm like, I could buy one. Then I'm like, no, it's a dead faction. Don't do that. Like, just buy the new
It's
one.
only, it's only one more. How much could it really hurt?
Yeah, my wife would be so upset if I bought another Judah. Here's the thing. So she doesn't even really like she plays a little bit, but if
Mhm.
I were to buy another Judicator, she would know because she knows that piece. It's like the number of Harbingers I have bought over the years. I've owned at the most at one point in time I owned 3 Harbingers. Right
It's
now I only own 2.
it's still so many.
Well, so I have one that's beautifully painted. So my
Sure.
wife, when I got the second one, she commissioned
Okay.
one of my friends to take Harbinger from being a teenage girl to
Mhm.
being an anime adult.
Okay. Or.
That's what we're gonna go, okay?
Mhm.
Anime adult,
Uh
okay?
huh. Mhm.
And that's what he did with green stuff, and then he painted her beautifully, and that is my centerpiece for Harbinger.
Sure.
And then I have another Harbinger that actually goes up on this
Ah. Okay.
that floats in the air without a
Okay.
sword so that she can
Sure.
throw her sword to strike her. Don't judge me. You know that happened in the fluff. So that's why I needed to buy a second one, or at that I think that was a third one at that point in time, and then I got rid of the second one. But anyways, that's why I needed one because I needed one for that
Uh
I
huh.
could,
Needed.
yeah, needed. Um,
I feel like you're just a little out of your mind,
I
but only
am,
a little
I
bit,
just a little bit, just a little bit.
just a little bit.
Yeah, we talk about the TISM and the ADHD and yeah, I've
Yeah,
that diagnosis. Yeah.
that didn't surprise anybody when that came through.
No, no, man, actually, it was funny. I was talking to someone the other day, and they're like, "Wait, you got diagnosed with that in 1991?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Holy cow, that was like before the fad." I was like, "Yeah, that's like when if you got it, they would just like beat it out of you."
Yep. Or they'd give you meth about it.
Yeah, I mean, this was before even this is when they would just beat it out of you. Um, Yeah, because like they didn't even give like when they would start giving you things like Adderall and stuff, that was like 95.
Oh,
Before then they would just, like I said, beat it out of you because it was just
did
behavioral. You could control it.
did it work?
Um, no,
Oh.
nope. um, Turns out the best thing for it was the army. Funny enough.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just
I mean, at least you
constantly
didn't get
give.
in.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, just give me constant positive reinforcement and stimuli and stress and strain, and my brain is like, this is amazing. Mm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And give me very strict rules that
Mm-hmm.
everyone has to play by.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's it turns out that you will strive and succeed very well with ADHD and autism. Like, oh, these
Mm-hmm.
are the rules, and
And
this
everybody
is what
has
we
to follow them? And there's a social contract for how to interact with people? Tell me more.
yes, I like this. Oh, buddy. It's
Yup.
yeah, man.
Hey, at least it wasn't trains. That's all I'm gonna say.
Dude, I have a list. This is okay. I'm gonna read you a list and you're gonna laugh.
Oh
Hold on.
boy.
Let me see if I have it. Hold on, I have it on my phone. So I have a list
This is
of what
great
I
radio.
oh yeah, this is well no, like this is something people like will be able to listen to and they'll laugh at it. Um I have a list of questions that I ask friends.
Sure.
Um and where is it? Shoot, now I can't find it. Um because I always like I've changed a little bit over the years with the questions, but people always laugh at it because they're like, um that's some pretty very uh strict questions. Because like I have like the generalized one, but I had one
Sure.
about trains, and people are like, why is that your train question? I was like, because I have problems.
Hmm.
Oh yeah. So I just had to pull it up. All right.
Right.
So first one, when grilling when grilling steak,
Hmm.
what do you use? Charcoal, wood, coal, propane? The second question, when operating a vehicle, do you choose a manual or an automatic? For
Right.
knives, what do you prefer for knives regardless of cost? For pistols, do you choose 45 or 9 mil or 10 millimeter? For rifles, do you choose um, 5.56 or 7.62? Beach or mountains? Sailboats or airplanes? Favorite train used in the U.S. pre 1950s? So here's the thing. The last question is hilarious because if you're actually a train person, pre 1950s is the golden age of trains. So this is
Right.
where you're going to see me like start to like glow a little bit because the golden age of trains and you really get into, you're going to go from like earlier, you're going to go from the wood burning trains to coal burning trains to oil burning trains. Now, all of these actually used that heating element to then get a boiler system, and then you had went from single boilers to double boilers to different systems to all build into the systems. Hell, even the electrics we have going now and how it operates and stuff. It's yeah. Anyways, so yeah, we go into trains, man.
I mean, I was
Train.
just gonna say I got an autistic talking about trains. I don't know what I was expecting here.
No, I know. Dude, it's like when I start talking about airplanes. Oh, oh, buddy. We talk about like VACR, and people are like, I don't even know what that means. And I was like, visual aircraft recognition. And they're like, what? And I was
What?
like, well, yeah, let's talk about the fuselage. Let's talk about the wingspan. Let's talk about the cockpit. Let's talk about the engines. Let's talk about the air intakes. Let's talk about where it's carrying its weapons. Let's talk about its climb ratio. Let's talk about its angle of attack. And people are like, what is wrong with you? I was like, I don't know. Actually,
So
I
many
do know.
things.
Like, I have problems,
What
but
is wrong with you? So many things.
I was good at my job.
It's hey, that's all that matters.
Yeah. Like I used to when I was the joke. Well, it's not even a joke. It's actually serious. When I was in the army, you used to have to do VACR tests
Yep.
when I did ADA, and I, for fun, would go on the internet and I would look up additional aircraft photos and then make additional VACR tests to test other ADA guys so we could identify the aircraft with like strange photos from the ground because everybody knows like basic, oh, this is an Airbus, and you'd be like, well, which Airbus is it? Or be
Yeah.
like, oh, that's a 757. I'm like, cool. Which version of a 757? And they'd be
Hmm.
like, what? And I'm like, or, going into just other things. But yeah, that's some stuff that I used to do that's silly and fun. But man,
The important the important thing is that you were enjoying yourself.
I did. I
That's all.
did.
That's
It's
all that
just
matters.
like, well, that's why like when I talk about on the Atlanteans, when I talk about the way I learn an army is I go and I read every single card for that faction.
Hmm.
So I memorize every single piece
Hmm.
until I have it. And I keep reading until everything is memorized. Stat,
Yep.
card, rule, threat range, including what a threat range is going to be with each of the casters and solos and faction, and everything.
Yep.
And I theory craft it and then I memorize it all.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
that's what I do to learn an army.
Sure.
And am I crazy? Probably. Do I enjoy
Not.
it?
I mean, I hope
Oh,
so.
I mean, yeah, I enjoy it. But yeah, that's why I'm a little crazy.
I'm gonna say that's not the word I would use, but it works. that is, yeah, I could not do that. Uh, my memory does not work that way. Uh, for me, like learning an army or like even one that like I'm playing, it's just read the stuff and then I have to like get it on the table, either on War Table or in real life, and like see it because once I see it happening, then I can like recognize what's going on and I know how to fight against it. But like if you're just like, oh yeah, in theory, I can make this thing go 48 inches and kill your caster, and I'm like, that's got to rely on so many different like things for table state, and there's no way you can do all like my brain just picks out all of the ways it would fail until somebody does it, and then I'm like, oh,
And then
this
you're like,
isn't gonna
oh
fail.
shoot, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
so like
it's
the first couple times I get my teeth kicked in, I'm just like, that's why I'm dying. All right, I get it now.
oh yeah, I do. I learned so much better from losses because it's like when someone's like, "Oh, you can turn that back. Like you made that mistake. Let's roll it back." And I'm like,
Nope.
"No. No, no, no,
Hmm.
no. What I want to make a mistake and remember that for the rest of my life because my eidetic memory is going to be like, oh, remember when you made that mistake in third grade doing this, and then
Hmm.
everybody laughed at you, which they didn't really all laugh at you, but you just kind of in your brain said that they did
Yep.
so that you would never make that mistake ever again.
Yep. So,
That.
okay, here's a question for you then.
Go ahead.
If that's that's the way you like to play, I'm very much similar. Where it's like, look, if I mess up, I messed up. We live here now. What is your opinion on rollbacks or takebacks in, say, like a steamroller, or on not like just normal? This is a you know Tuesday game night.
I let my opponent do it, but I don't do it myself.
Okay.
So I will hold myself to a higher standard than I will my opponent,
Hmm.
which
So,
weird,
I mean, everybody
but it
should do
just
that, but
well, not everybody does though. Let's be
right.
honest. I mean,
It's true.
I I played 40K for so many years, and I can
Uh,
tell you times where if I mean, hell, I can tell you times of judging where I would see one guy be nice and let his opponent take something back, and then when he was like, "Hey, can I take this back?" his opponent would be a complete, we'll say, bag about it,
uh-huh. Yep.
leaving the other word out, and be like, no. And I'd be like, I mean, as a judge, you'd have to be like, man, that's,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
that's
how it
how it
works.
goes. Just remember that for next time against this opponent. But yeah,
So, that reminds me of actually, uh, so for myself, I tend to not really do takebacks at any point. Um, like, it's one thing if, so like, if we're playing a game and you're like, okay, I'm gonna move this model, I'm gonna do these things. All right, I finished. I'm gonna move on to this one. And you don't move anything and then go, oh, actually, the first model had repo. Yeah, do it. You didn't move anything. Board state has not changed. You're good. Like, do the thing.
hmm
The minute board state changes in my mind, it's like, okay, sorry, you missed that point. And I don't say it to be mean, but it's like,
oh
if
yeah, I can set that like within reason. Like if there's like five pieces have moved, and then he wants to
right,
go back doing it, I'd be like, man, that's. But no, if
I,
it's like
I'm always just like, sorry, no. Like, I'm not trying to be a jerk about it, but no. So, like, Adepticon 2 years ago when I went, because I couldn't go this year, one of my games I was playing into Gravediggers, and the person I was playing was like, yeah, I haven't played in a while, I'm kind of new, and I'm like, that's fine, like, just do your best, we're gonna play this game, it's fine. But it was in IG, and we got to a
oh.
point where it was like, I think round 3 or 4, he gets through his entire turn, and then goes, okay, it's your move. And I'm like, all right, sure. I start my turn and I start moving stuff, and I get like a model or two models in, and he stops and goes, I'm stupid. Can we pause? I'm like, yeah, what's up? and he tells me that, oh yeah, I feeded this turn, all of this stuff has repo, and then I had oh, what's it called? Tides of War. So like all of the stuff got like a 6-inch move, and I just didn't
Yeah.
do any of it. Like, can I go? Like, is it okay if I go back and do it? And I'm like, no. And he's just
No,
like,
dude,
what?
in Iron
And I'm just like,
Gauntlet, no, I get that. I
I'm
completely
just like,
understand.
I'm just like, no, sorry. Like it's one thing if you would have like realized it at the end of your turn. Like I don't care at that point. I've already started moving stuff, which means the board state has changed, the amount of information has changed. Like even if you think it's nonsensical, stuff is not where it was. So like, I'm sorry, no. And the guy got really, really upset and was just like, you know what? I'm good. I'm done. And I was like, you sure? And he's like, yep. I don't want to play anymore. Then I'm like, okay, good game. Thank you for everything. Um,
No, I get what you're saying. Like I totally understand where you're coming from. I get that completely. Like in Iron Gauntlet is I get that.
yeah.
Iron
But
Gauntlet is a completely different animal than
yes.
than
It,
Steamroller or like
it
regular play.
yes. But it also reminded me of an article I saw earlier. I think it was in 2025. At might have been LVO. I don't know, some big 40K tournament where I don't remember the exact situation, but it was like a stratagem or a card or something that had to be used at a specific phase. The person set up their entire turn, didn't use it in the correct phase, went to go use it, and their opponent was like, no. And they're like, what do you mean? It's like, well, no, this is in like the shooting phase, and we're past that point. You can't use it. And the first guy was just like, I set up my entire turn around this. This is what my army does. You know this. Like this was at like one of the top tables, and it became a whole thing of people arguing and being like, well, yeah, but like this is one of the only cards that's or stratagems or whatever that's like done at this time, and like should his opponent have allowed it? The judges were called over, and it was a whole thing, and I'm like, how is this a
No.
whole thing? Like, if the thing says it works at this point and you passed that point, nobody is required to let you go back and do it, even if they knew exactly what you were doing. Especially once you get to like round 4, round 5, round 6, like you're well past the point of like, oh, it's early in the day, I just messed up. Like, you're playing for a potential victory at that point. You got to be on the ball.
Oh, dude,
And I just remember
I
reading articles where people were like debating it and was like, oh, this guy was being a jerk. And I'm like, man, so different than what I remember, and like so different than what I'm used to playing War Machine. Like, what the hell? It was
well, I mean,
crazy.
in War Machine, people definitely put their big boy pants on when they play.
I mean, largely.
I mean, not always. I have to say not always, but like a lot of times I would say people do. Dude, okay, whenever I play, if like I will always tell people, they're like, "Hey, what's your threat range?" I'm like, "I will let you know 100%. Every single
Yep.
time you ask, I will tell you 100%. And if they
Hmm.
have threat extenders, I will always tell you if you say what does this threat, I will tell you including my threat extenders just so there's no gotcha because I don't want that bad feeling.
Yeah.
But if I see you make a mistake,
Hmm.
like for example, with the Judicator, people forget that Resnick has boundless charge.
Right.
So they're just like, oh yeah, I just need to be at beyond 10 inches.
Yep.
No, you need to be beyond 12 inches because I'm going to
Hmm.
charge with boundless charge 10 inches and
Yep.
I'm going to threat 12. So if you give
Hmm.
me the opportunity, I'm going to threat 12. And then after I kill that target, I'm going to then put flamethrowers down, possibly further on, and then put rockets down and possibly
Yep.
kill your caster. And I've
Hmm.
done that at tournaments, and
Yep.
that has upset people
Hmm.
because turn 1, turn 2, they always think, oh yeah, 10 inches, 10 inches, and I tell them, I'm like, I threat 12,
Hmm.
and by the time like turn 4 comes out, they forget,
Yep.
and they're not asking me anymore, and I'm
Right.
not going to
Because
tell
I
them,
know exactly. It's like, look, if
and
you ask, I will give you all of the information. The minute you assume something, that's on you, buddy.
yep, I will not correct you if you're making a mistake.
Hmm.
Not I mean like not how to say it. No. If you're making a
No, like
mistake, I
if
will
you're,
I
yeah,
know
it's like,
I don't want people to think that I'm like trying to cheat.
no,
But
no.
like
It's
if
if you're asking, if you ask the question and you say, hey, what is this threat? I'm going to tell you. If you
Yes.
assume it's threat, if you assume what it does, or you misremember a number and didn't ask, I'm not going, and you go, hey, I'm going to stay out of 10. Okay, great, you're staying out of 10. I'm not going to tell you
Yes.
that I threat 12. I'm going to assume that you're there for a reason, or if you wanted to know the number, you would ask.
Yes, that. Okay. Yes, that.
Yep.
Yep. And but I've had people get upset. They're like, my
Hmm.
intention was to stay out. I was like, your
Well,
intention was to stay out of 10. I
yep.
threat 12. And
Hmm.
there was a time we called over a judge because the guy was like, I said my intention was stay out of 10. And I was like, I threat
You are,
12.
yeah, you are out of 10.
And
You've done your intention.
I was like, you were at 10 and a half. Congratulations. I threat
Hmm.
12.
Yep.
And the judge was like, nope, that's fair. And the
Hmm.
dude was pissed.
Yep.
And
And like, I get
because,
it.
but I mean, it's a game. We all like, this was, and the thing is, it didn't even end up with me winning. I ended up losing that game because I went for the assassination. I didn't pull it off because dice happen. But it
Hmm.
was he was upset, and I remember that. And I was like, dude, I told you over and over and over again, and every time you ask me, I will let you know. But if
Hmm.
you make a mistake and I watch it, I'm like, Now if this was like like a fun game at the game store where we're
Yeah.
just playing, I would let him know in a heartbeat. I'm like, hey man,
Right.
this is a learning game. You probably
Hmm.
intended to do this. The adjudicator does this. Because
Right.
I will do that with a new player. But at an
Hmm.
Iron Gauntlet, I feel like we are all at a higher level at that point in time.
Yep. Well, especially, and like, this is a thing I get into, not quite arguments, but discussions with people online about uh, a lot. Is that like, well, yeah, but you should play the same all the time. And it's like, well, technically, yes. Here's the thing. If I'm playing on War Table, right? There's not. I didn't spend any money to get here. I didn't do anything. It's just we're playing a game. If I'm
Hmm.
playing at my local store, it was a 20-minute drive for me. Like I kind of don't care who wins, right?
Hmm.
I'm here to have fun. If I'm spending, you know, uh say conservatively, $700-800 to go to like Adepticon, to buy
Oh, come on.
tickets, to buy airfare, to do everything else,
You're spending more than that.
uh
Hotel,
yeah,
airfare, con,
you know, if
food.
you're spending several $100s to go
Yeah,
to a convention, like, yes, I'm still here to have a good time, but those are the games that I actually care about, and those are the games that, like, I'm going to be a lot less
forgiving.
forgiving about. Not because I don't care, but because I didn't, spend 2 hours on a plane when I hate flying and dealing with potentially models breaking and all this other shenanigans to get here and then go, oh, yeah, I actually forgot about half of my rules. Can I go back and do them? And it's just like, nah, dog, nah, you can't. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely, dude. I mean, part of me is sad that this coming Nova, I'm not going to be doing Iron Gauntlet, but I also
Right,
know that because of the surgery that I'm going to be doing, I am not going to be at my best. I'm not going
right,
to be anywhere close to my best.
right.
I want to make sure that because I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be helping out, I'm going to be doing the Iron Kingdom stuff, and I have made a commitment to Tried and True, to Andy, to Erica. I have made a commitment that I'm going to help them, that I
Hmm.
am going to, make sure that other people have a good time. So, and I also have to make sure that I take my own health into it. So,
Yep.
because of that, I'm not going to also play badly at not Iron Kingdoms,
Right.
Iron Gauntlet, and make it so someone's like, man, dude, this was a bad experience. This dude didn't know his rules. He
Yeah.
was hopped up on painkillers. He could barely stand. No,
Right.
like I would much
It's like,
rather just, help out and
hmm.
do the other stuff that I'm volunteering with.
Yep. And I mean, that's personal opinion. That is the correct thing to do. Is look, if you can't be there at your best or at a level you're happy with, then show up and have fun in other ways. But like, don't do the super competitive stuff if like you're not in the frame of mind or mindset to be able to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I am kind of sad, but like it's reality of the situation.
Yeah, and I
And
mean, think of it this way: you don't get to do it this year. That's sad. There's always next year. The con's not going anywhere.
that is true. And next year, maybe I'll have even more new men off.
Yeah, see,
See?
Judicators 4 and 5.
There we go. Super Judicators.
I bet you that's the Super Junior next year. It's just gonna be Severius. Except it's just gonna be Severius, except now he's in 80 mil. Like oh my god, what's his
Oh,
name? The self-moving Jack and Menoth.
oh, Avatar of Menoth.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a new avatar.
Yeah,
Severius locked inside.
I mean, I'd be okay with that.
I bet.
Oh man, I'm super excited about what is it? We're potentially new Eye of Menoth, and which is Malchius's,
Mm-hmm.
and um Thyra's Blood of Martyrs too.
Oh yeah,
Like,
because
dude,
that was one of the ones they showed off, wasn't it?
mm-hmm. I mean, I know I have drank the Kool-Aid on Menoth, and I know it frustrates people sometimes because I will LARP on an RP on the pages, and I know that bugs people, and I'm like, hey, we are all here to have fun, and I'm just trying to be silly and having fun, and I am sorry if you take yourselves too seriously and my silly shenanigans upset you. I don't want you to have a bad time, but I also have fun with this fake religion, and yeah,
We're all
I
a bunch
have.
of nerds playing a game. You'll be all right.
I mean, I am here to play with with little stompy men, and pray to my fake fire god to burn the unbelievers.
There you go. Oh, jeez.
Man, no, dude, it's man, I said something to someone, and they're like, "That's so evil," and I was like, "Hold on," I was like, "If I see you broken down outside the con, I'm gonna help you push your car, like,
Yeah,
but when we're in the game, I'm gonna pretend that you know that
I'm
you
trying to
know
immolate your actual very soul. Fuck you for being
yeah."
here.
But when we're outside the real world, like I will help you in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
I was like, it's all just pretend. Like, don't take it serious.
or
Here,
take it
here's a
serious,
hug.
just not that serious.
Yeah. Oh man.
Levels of seriousness, my guy. Levels of doing stuff.
Yeah. I am just here to have fun.
Mm-hmm. It's like I say, I'm just a little guy. I'm just a little guy with glasses. I'm a little birthday guy with glasses. You wouldn't hit a little birthday guy with glasses, would you?
I thought you're like 6'5".
6 even.
Oh, okay.
Still just a little guy. Little guy is a state of mind.
Oh, okay. Oh, dude, when I talked to my surgeon, I was like, hey, originally I used to be 6 foot and now I'm 5'11" and shrinking. I was like, can you put extra bone in there and get me back up to 6 foot? And he looked at me. He's like, no. And I was like, are you sure? Like, what if I give you an extra 50? And he's like, no. And I was like, extra bottle of Elijah Craig? And he's like, again,
Still no.
no. And I was like, damn it.
See, it's funny. When I went in, because I had to have back surgery, but like every time I've ever gone in for any medical procedure, I always go to the surgeon or like the person after. Like even I got my wisdom teeth pulled out a couple of years back, and I was like, "Hey, can I have those?" And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Can I have them?" Like, well,
Oh,
no,
I
that's
asked that. I asked if I can have the bones from my neck, and they
yeah,
told me no.
yeah. They're like, "No, that's medical waste." I'm like, "No, it's not. They're mine. That you just pulled them out of me."
Yeah, I asked. I was like,
I
hey,
know
just
exactly where they came from.
I yeah,
What are
I
you
asked him.
talking about?
I was like, hey, just throw them in some rubbing alcohol, and just give them back to me. And he's like, we are not allowed to do that. I was like, come on, I want to put them on like a chain and make them like dog tags, like one vertebrae,
Uh-huh.
two vertebrae. And he's like,
Yep.
no. And I was like, please, come
Yep.
on, I'll put them in like clear resin.
See, I
I'll
like I
C5, C6.
when I did mine, I was like, "Can I?" They're just like, "No, you can't have them." I'm like, "Come on!" And they're just like, "What would you do with them anyway?" I'm like, "Put them on a necklace, like
See?
by themselves." I'm like, "Yeah, just string them together, wear them as a necklace. They're mine. They belong to me. Anybody else asks, I don't know. I pulled them out of some guy who did wrong to me." They're just like, "No, you can't lie to people about where your teeth came from." I'm like, "They're not gonna know the difference." They're like,
Um,
"Yeah, but what if you get arrested because you have human teeth?" I'm like, I already have human teeth. What's the difference? What, because these ones on the outside, they're a problem? And they're just like, yes! I'm like, you guys are all prudes.
oh, buddy. It's true.
Any doctors listening to this, you gotta start giving your patients their body parts back.
I know,
Just give them
right?
back. Just let them have them.
Dude, I said that if I ever lost a limb, like if I ever lost a leg, I want that so I can make it into a cane handle,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or like a sword handle. How cool would that be,
Hidden sword cane.
right? Just like if make a hip, like if I ever got my hip replaced, make that into a like a nice handle. That's what I'm saying, man.
There you go.
Be unique. Pass it down.
Boom.
But no,
Lame ass doctors.
I know. Oh man, I was trying to get my doctor to listen to the podcast.
How'd that go?
He didn't. Oh my goodness, dude! I asked my doctor. I just moved too fast there. That was not pleasant. Um, I told my doctor I was like, hey, so I need to be ready for the Nova Open, and he's like, you cannot play golf a few weeks after your surgery, and I was like, what? No, no, it's a tabletop gaming thing, and he looked at me like, what? And it was like, no, it's not golf. Tabletop gaming. Like, we stand across from each other and throw dice at the table and then move little men. And he was looked at me like, what? Like, blink, blink, blink. What? And I was like, yeah. And the thing is, that's not the first time that conversation has happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I had to get knee surgery not too long ago where they had to go in and shave stuff down. Um, and then I was going to get my knees replaced um, 2 years ago, and I delayed it until after Nova, and then other stuff happened. I ended up having to get it delayed again. And oh, and yeah, it that was the same thing happened when I was like, they're like, we can't do golf, and I was like, no, it's tabletop games, but
Yeah, totally different.
uh, yeah. But I'm looking at this. We have been chatting for about an hour and 20 minutes, Ryan, and I've
Mm-hmm.
loved chatting with you, but we've we've been chatting a long time. So I think we probably should start to wrap it up. I mean, I'm
Right
sure
on.
everyone's gonna love listening to it because I think we've been enjoying it. We've been painting and having a lot of good times.
For sure.
So Ryan, where can people find you?
So you can find me on the Discord. I go by Wolf the Cat. I am also newly a contributing author to the Tabletop Battles, formerly Goonhammer series website. So I've been contributing some articles on there, so you can find some of my stuff on there, as well as I am one of the hosts of the Blightbringers podcast, and I share a Spotify with Seth Cohen of the Boker broadcast, so you can find all of my content on there as well. So I am many places, as well as Facebook and Instagram. So kind of all over the place.
So lots of different places. Well, Ryan, thank you for coming out. Thank you for painting with me. Thank you for having some great conversation.
Yeah,
As
thank you so much for
always,
having me. I really
you know,
appreciate it.
it's my goal just to show people that this is what you can do. You can just chat with your friends and paint, be it at the game store, be it online or whatever, and just enjoy life and get your stuff painted. So thank you for everyone for tuning in for another episode of Let's Get You Painted. As always, I am Alec, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye, everybody.